Hello and welcome to Filmed in Utah. I am still not back from my vacation yet, so I am lucky to have Amy, Leah, and Skippy Jessup talking to you guys about advertising, marketing, and publicity. The three things most filmmakers seem to ignore in our state. Well, I guess it's all independent filmmakers in general, but we're going to show you how to make your films be known and get the biggest audience possible. It's all coming up on Filmed in Utah.
Welcome to Filmed in Utah. My name's Skippy Jessup. I'm here with Kate Allen. Kate, I was trying to think of how to describe you and introduce you to people, but you're a filmed in Utah gypsy. You've done all of it, right? Like, you really kind of have. You're actress slash voiceover slash interviewer yourself slash radio host slash, I mean, you have a lot of slashes. Give me a couple of them and some of the things that people might know you from.
Okay, so one of the things is every week I do a weekly radio program on Monday and Tuesday. It's on K-Talk, so k-talk.com. It's on AM 630, and it's a show called Celebrating Women. And I love that show because we can talk about anything that touches a woman.
Now, is it just film, or it's anything?
Any subject.
Any kind of woman?
Yeah, any type of woman, and touching any subject that, I mean, we've talked about everything from emergency preparedness to, how to start your own business and how to get financing for your own business. We've really covered everything across the board.
Now, what experience do you have with that? Because you're, from what I've been told, you're a bit of a marketing guru of the way that you've marketed yourself from all these different things that you've been involved with, right?
So I actually started out with radio. I had auditioned for a TV show. I had gotten the part, and then about a month later, they said, hey, we really like you. Can you come on and do a political talk radio show? So I started out doing that, and then they asked me to do a business one. And then I said, can I do something a little different? I would really love to do a women's talk radio show. And so they let me do that. And in terms of marketing, I actually have my undergrad in marketing from BYU.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right on. Now, here in Utah, do you find that the work is pretty steady? Because we were talking about some of the things that you've been in. Can you brag about some of those things? Because especially one of your things, I freaked out when I heard that you just got done working with Luke Perry.
Yes, I was super excited about that. Canine Christmas, I was a supporting actress in that, and it was just a lot of fun because, I mean, who didn't grow up watching
Beverly Hills 90210?
Exactly.
It shows my geekdom, but I was like 15 years old, and I knew who Brandon and Dylan and Brenda and like the whole crew, yeah.
Exactly, and it's one of those things that it's just fun. I love acting, and I love being in films and also TV series. I just love it, and so I just feel like I've been really lucky and been really blessed to have those opportunities.
That's one of the great things about Utah is that we have a place that's perfect for actors, where you can get names that people have known. It's not a place that does just student films. In fact, there are lots of big production companies that are coming through all the time. And
Definitely.
with as versatile as you are, when you go into a project, how do you approach it? Do you have specific things set in mind? Because if you can do 10 different things, which one do you want to do first, and how do you pick when you approach something?
That's a great question. Well,
you.
first of all, I love acting, and that's primarily what I like to do.
Okay.
But then I've also had people approach me and say, hey, you know what, Kate, can you help out with casting? Or can you help out and be a producer here? Can you help out? And so they've known that I've done other things throughout my career, and so I've said, okay, what do you need help on? Let's see what resources we have, and kind of gone from there. But primarily what I love is acting.
Right, and how can people find you? Because what you have, I would assume that you maybe have a role, but when I went to your Facebook page, I mean, like, again, there's like, it's this long in the experience category. How do people find you if they want to?
Usually Facebook is the easiest way. So Kate Allen, and it's with a C. And then also I have a Tumblr account as well as Twitter, so at Actress Kate.
At Actress Kate. One of my favorite questions to ask people is, what's your favorite movie ever filmed in Utah?
Oh my goodness, it's so hard.
Because there's so many, right?
A, there's so many, and then B,
and do you say one that you were in, or do you say one that you just admired?
Well, then it's also the geography, but then it's also, I mean, once you get to know the crew and you're working with the cast and the director, it's like you become like a family, and it's so fun.
All the people around here, we're all family.
Exactly, and that's one of
We're
the
going
things I
out to
love.
lunch, and like a family, you're buying me lunch today. Every single one of you.
One of the things I love is because a lot of people here in studio, I know them. I've had the opportunity to work with them. And so just looking around, I mean, you know, from Warren to Amy, Amy, I play her mom in something that's coming out in November. So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. And Shane, we've worked together on a couple of films too. And it's just a lot of fun, and I love it. And I just feel really lucky.
But you don't have one film that you can be like, I'm going with Maverick.
Maverick has a good one.
Mel Gibson.
I've got to be honest. The working with Luke Perry, that was a highlight for me, because when you grow up and you're a kid and you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, he's this just dreamy guy, and then all of a sudden you get older and you have the opportunity to work with him. I mean, that was just a pleasure, and it was just a lot of fun.
That is, it's fun. And it's a fun time to be in Utah and be in films and a lot of things. I want people to go to your Facebook page and friend you.
Please do. I'd be happy to do it. And also, please tune in to Celebrating Women.
Yes.
We cover a lot of different topics. We've even covered entertainment in Utah, and that's been a lot of fun. So we cover basically anything under the sun. You can stream it. Just go to k-talk.com.
Awesome. Kate, thanks for the interview. This is fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, now we've reached the part in the show where I get to give away something free from Editions at a Cost, and this week we're giving away Radio Follies. This is a really fun novel. It's all about what happens if you have the counterparts from the 40s and 50s meeting their counterparts of today's era. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great little novel, and we're giving it away for free here on Filmed in Utah. All you have to do is send me an email at filmedinutah@gmail.com. In a subject line, put in Radio Follies, and the first person who does that gets their own copy.
Hi, welcome to Filmed in Utah. I am Amy Leah, and I'm here with Josh Legary of Icarus Arts and Entertainment. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how's it going?
It's great. So Icarus Arts and Entertainment, or Icarus A&E, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
That's my production company, and we are based here in Utah, and we shoot mostly here in Utah. We also shoot, obviously, in California and some other places, but because I live here, I try to shoot as much as I can around here.
Seems to be the trend. You know, you want to bring your work to Utah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it kind of doesn't matter where you are anymore in the digital age. So, I mean, I do have a producer in LA, and so if people ask if they can have a meeting, she says, well, maybe I shouldn't be saying this on TV, but she says, oh, he's out of town, but he can be here, you know, by the end of the week or whatever. So,
and that's what's so beneficial about working in Salt Lake is you can hop on a flight.
Right.
It takes a couple hours. You're in LA,
Exactly.
then you come back, and it does bring a lot more business here.
Right.
But you were talking about some of the projects that you're working on recently. Mm-hmm. You just finished up a documentary.
Yeah, we had a documentary. It actually premiered right at the end of 2009. It was a long road to distribution, and you know, we kind of had that kind of naive outlook that a lot of, I think, young filmmakers do, that you think you get into a major film festival and then your film sells. Well, we got into one of the biggest film festivals in the world, and our film didn't sell. Yeah, the Toronto Film Festival, and our film didn't sell. And so we didn't really know what our next step was. We hadn't even really thought that far ahead at that point. And so 2010 was kind of a big learning curve, and we spent all of 2010 taking the film to festivals and learning about distribution models, and eventually signed up with a smaller company that helped us distribute the film, both digitally, theatrically, and on DVD. But I learned in that time the difference between doing it yourself and having someone else do it for you. And I realized at the level that they were doing it, we basically could do it all ourselves and eliminate the middleman. Right after that, I had an experience where we did a reality show with National Geographic Channel. And they were spending so much money on advertisement that was something we really couldn't compete with. They have posters in the New York subways, and you know, we had like a banner behind the home plate during the World Series last year. Wow. And so that's something that we could never do on our own. But, and so I think if you're not, you know, if you can get with a major network or a major studio, it's really worth kind of going a traditional route. But if you're not, you know, some of these smaller boutique studios, and nothing against them, I think they have provided important service for filmmakers for the last decade or so. But we're getting to a point where you can broker all of that stuff yourself, eliminate the middleman, and make a lot more money on all of your hard work. And
so that's what you do with Icarus Films.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now, is we've kind of realized that we can, you know, we still take that initial traditional approach where we're going to submit to the big festivals. If we get a big sale with Sony or something, we're going to take that. But if we don't, rather than killing ourselves and signing up with a small company that's going to absorb all of the money from our work, we're going to do that ourselves. If we're going to do all the work anyway, we're going to be working for ourselves. And really, I have a friend that he's the head of digital distribution at Fox right now. And he's actually from the local film community here as well. And, he told me basically straight up, he's like, you can do everything that I do. You just need some phone numbers.
Yeah.
And that's putting it very simply. It is a little bit harder than that. But thinking about those online markets where really everything's going. Thinking about, we did a theatrical and it was not really worth the money spent.
Yeah.
And we did DVD. It didn't sell even close to amount as the iTunes sales, not even a fraction. And that's just where things are going now. And so I think if that's a market I can control, I can submit to iTunes, I can handle all of that in really a limited amount of work. And then if I can benefit completely from that, instead of 50% of that or 35% of that.
So are you looking to, so with Icarus Films, or Icarus Arts and Entertainment, are you looking to, do you produce for even smaller guys that don't know how to do it themselves, or what are you looking to do with that?
We have partnered with other companies. If there's a project that we felt like we could, really it's just our own production company that we do our own creative ventures with. If there's something that we feel like we could partner with, something like the reality show for National Geographic.
What was the name of that again?
It's called Knights of Mayhem.
Knights of Mayhem.
And it's about jousters. And it just so happened that the #1 jouster in the world is from Eagle Mountain, Utah. And so when we found this out, this is a reality show waiting to happen. So we went out and we talked to him, and he had been approached by History Channel and all these people before, but he didn't feel comfortable with them. But because we were local, he wanted to work with us. And that's a way you can stay where you are and make films that matter to you, is if you can tell stories that rely on this location.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make a film in Utah that looks like you're in California or New York, I don't think there's a point in doing it, but if you can tell a story that's unique to this place, you have edge over everybody else.
That's a really good point. So if anybody wants to check out, you said that you're on iTunes and...
there's cleanflixthemovie.com is where that documentary was. You can find, you can buy it on DVD, however you like to consume it, it's all there. Icarus Arts and Entertainment, that's IcarusAE.com. We're on Twitter at Icarus Arts. You can see all the projects we're doing. We're doing documentaries, moving into fictional narrative next year, a lot of reality TV.
So a lot coming up for you. That's really awesome to hear.
Juggling a lot of things, spinning a lot of plates.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Osmond Real Estate has been serving Utah County since 1979 with a high standard of quality and personalized client service. Call or visit us today at osmondrealestate.com.
Tired of all those books that are piling up? Then, get rid of those stacks and pick up the Dadicos ebook reader. With it, you'll get 300 classic books, 25 audiobooks, 10 pieces of music, and 2 audio conferences. The Dadicos ebook reader allows you to download hundreds of books from the internet and read them wherever and whenever you want. View videos, photos, and listen to your favorite music. Get a bonus leather carrying case with purchase. The Dadicos ebook reader for optimal reading comfort.
You know what, I would actually like to take a minute to say congratulations. You see, neither of us died during the Mayans' end of the world prediction. Well, I guess nobody died, but I still love doomsday movies, and I want to show you my 3 favorite doomsday movies, all shot here in the Beehive State. At number 3, The Stand. When a government-run lab accidentally lets loose a deadly virus, most of the population of the world is wiped out. Survivors begin having dreams about two figures, a mystical old woman or a foreboding, scary man. As the story tracks various people, we begin to realize that the two figures exemplify basic forces of good and evil, and the stage is set for a final confrontation between the representatives of each. Although technically a miniseries, The Stand was also distributed as an epic feature film. At number 2, Independence Day. The ultimate encounter when mysterious and powerful aliens launch an all-out invasion against the human race, this spectacle begins with massive spaceships appearing over Earth's skies. But wonder turns into terror as the ships blast destructive beams of fire down on the cities all over the planet. Now the world's only hope lies with a determined band of survivors united for one last strike against the invaders, before it's the end of all mankind. And at number 1, Planet of the Apes. Astronaut Taylor crash lands on a distant planet ruled by apes who use a primitive race of humans for experimentation and sport. Soon, Taylor finds himself among the hunted. Now, fun fact, both the 1968 version and the 2001 version of the Planet of the Apes were both shot at Lake Powell.
Welcome to Filmed in Utah. My name is Skippy Jessup. I'm here with John Corser. John Corser is the publisher of this little magazine. This is Film Utah magazine, but you're also probably more known for being a line producer, right?
Yeah, that's what I get paid to do.
That's what you get. That's what makes the bucks. This does not. This is a mission of love.
Exactly.
That is a mission of getting food on your family's table.
That's correct.
Okay. First, talk to me about Film Utah magazine.
Film Utah magazine was started 4 years ago. I started after a conversation with Marshall Moore, standing at the Louisiana Film Office party, and I said, "Hey, we should do something like this." He said, "Yeah, we should." And I said, "Look, they have a magazine." And I said, "We should do something like this." He said, "Yeah, we should." I said, "Well, who's going to do it?" He said, "You do it." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I said, and he said he didn't believe that I was actually going to do it. He said, "People say this to me all the time." A year later, this was 5 years ago now. A year later, I published the magazine, and he was like thrilled. It was the best thing. Since then, we've become the strategic partner to the Utah Film Commission, and this goes out to every producer in Hollywood, all over the world to festivals.
Yeah.
It distributed by them as well as me, but they are a key component to what I do, and I'm a key component to what they do.
For people who don't know, Marshall Moore was a former guest on Filmed in Utah, and he is the head of the Utah Film Commission.
Correct.
And so that's how a magazine like this gets made, is because you get people in the industry that can then share some. I mean, like, as I'm going through this magazine, I'm seeing some of the amazing shots of Utah and some of the work that's been done here. As a line producer, what is it that you've worked on, and what are some of the things you do as a line producer?
Well, I'll start with how I got to this. Because
Okay.
As a line producer, I mean, I do most of my work in LA. I always have. I started there. I moved here because I fell in love with a woman and got here, and I wanted to bring more of my work here. And
Okay.
I thought I didn't know before being here that there were lots of films shot here, outstanding crews. The proximity to LA was fantastic because I could fly back and forth for meetings and do stuff in LA. And like, wow, I need to do something to contribute back to the community that I live in. That kind of was a germination of that idea. Now, as a line producer in LA, I look at the world like it's LA and everybody else. So you always discount these farther places out from LA, and you don't realize how good the stuff is. So I wanted to bring stuff from LA to wherever I went, to or the British Virgin Islands or Europe, or I wanted to bring my people. My idea was to say, hey, there are great people here where we live that actually work in LA, that actually do the work from LA studios. So let's highlight those things.
Well, being as close to LA as you are, you'd probably have a better perspective than anyone. Where is Utah in terms of the spectrum of where, if LA is king of all kings, where does Utah rack up?
Well, a few years ago, I was 10 now, I don't know, the incentive wars started to happen.
Yeah.
And LA producers wanted to go where they get the most rebate, the most money back. And so the first tier, the first look at Utah is how much money do I get back? Which is because of the MPAU, because of the GOED, commitment to filmmaking and the Utah Film Commission, they've raised this incentive, so it is very attractive to certainly the independent filmmaker of Utah, of LA, to bring their film to Utah because of 25%. It's now competitive with most of the other incentives. When all the other incentives are getting decreased, the Utah incentive is getting increased because we have a sustainable incentive here. In the other states, they were just throwing big dollars at big movie companies to get a whole bunch of people there.
Yeah.
And that now it's leveling out, and Utah is on the radar now.
What do you like most about filming in Utah? Because you you must like a lot. You made a whole magazine about it.
Number one is I live here.
Yeah.
But I was astonished at how some of the folks that I work with in LA are the people that live here. I didn't know that. In fact, I produced the Sundance Channel broadcast from the festival, and they called me, not because I lived here, but because I knew them in LA. And they didn't realize it, but that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people that work here are so close, they work there. So when I can get through this, I hope, and other means, people in LA to see it, this is us. It's the West. It's not Utah, and LA. It's all of us. We're all there together. And there's so many Disney films that are shot here. They know us. They know what we can do here. There's a few others. Strategic Film Partners has done 2 films here, and another producer that I know has looked to do several projects here. So we're on the radar.
So what are your biggest challenges then as a line producer?
Well, is it to get people here in Utah, or
Well,
just in general?
I would
There's
think
a lot of challenges in general.
Well, because your job as a line producer is to be able to get films brought here, right? And so are the challenges?
My job is to give them a budget that works for the creative. So to make sure that the money that we have to spend matches, our days, our times, our crews, our actors, so make sure that happens. And we don't go over, or if we go over, it's for a specific reason that we can get more money from the studio or the distributor or somebody else. But it's to manage the budget. And I have to be fiscally responsible for everything that I do. So if I can find an incentive, even living here in Utah, that makes more sense somewhere else, I have to present that. So I try to bring in a lot of the intangible things, proximity. Actors like to go home on the weekends or even at night and go to a party. They can do that from Utah. You can't do that from Michigan. Other intangibles, experienced crews. I mean, the fact that these folks are the same people that work, even though they're local to Utah, they work in LA. They have that LA feel, that LA experience. So when I'm measuring it, those are some of the things that don't wind up on a clear bottom line on a number that you can present to an accountant, but the feel and the mood of it is different when you present it. So,
where do people find out about you and what you're up to, or how do they get a hold of this magazine?
It's distributed. Most of this distribution happens at Sundance. About 5,000 copies there, given out free to everybody, and anybody. They can go online, filmutah.org. You download it as a PDF. They can donate to me, and I can send one out to you.
There you go.
We accept donations. We're a nonprofit.
I think we all accept donations.
Exactly, we can do that.
In some form.
What else? The Film Commission has copies if you want them there. They go out in every producer's kit that goes to the producers that are thinking of a film to shoot in Utah. So.
And finally, what else do you want people to know about you and what it is that you do?
Hire me on jobs. Bring some jobs to you.
Is that something where you can, where we can get you jobs from this? Because if so, let's get you work. Let's get you more work.
The more everybody else works. That's the beauty of being a line producer, because you have budgets to spend.
Well, and being filmed in Utah, there's so much that's always going on, and it seems like as we transition from season to season, there's like a whole new set of films that come up, because Utah is just that great. With each passing season, it brings like a whole new crop of films that you can have.
There's some great films that are being developed and trying to get started right now in Utah by some Utah filmmakers that have money from out of state, and they're in the $1.5 million range. Those are key. So we should get more of those in the state.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. Hey, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate the time that you took to come.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And I'll see you up at Sundance.
Please do, everybody, come on to the hub.
Walking by a squadron of teenagers, Levi's dully brushing the ground, paraphernalia sticking out from purple, green, and orange heads, I felt the grin spreading on my face. What fun it would be to arrange a meeting between young people and older people. It wouldn't have to be seriously real. So, you are invited to a whimsical experience between past and present. We'll see you there. Available at lulu.com.
Well, that's our show here on Filmed in Utah. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see old episodes, make sure you're taking a look at our website, filmedinutah.com. That is the home of all of our episodes. It's the first place we're going to post these new episodes as well. It's also the only place you're going to be finding exclusive information only available to the Filmed in Utah audience. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us on this episode of Filmed in Utah. Be sure to tune in next week as we talk about our year-end review, the very best of Filmed in Utah in 2012. And until next time, guys, I'm Warren Workman. Keep filming, Utah.